Hello and welcome to the Film Pulse Podcast. This is episode number 479. My name's Adam Patterson. With me today, we've got Kevin Rakestraw. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, hi. Hello.
This week on the show, we'll be taking a look at the action thriller Sisu, which is on VOD platforms right now. We'll also be going over some of what we're watching on the watch list and new releases in theaters, VOD, and Blu-ray. Thank you so much for joining us this week. If you could, give us a review on iTunes, that'd be great. Have you seen the trailer for Killers of the Flower Moon, though? I did want to bring that up.
No, I didn't watch it.
Ugh.
Didn't do it.
It's interesting. It's an Apple original movie, but it's only in theaters. So I think
only in theaters.
Yeah, so I feel like that's the first Apple movie that wasn't released on Apple TV Plus alongside theaters.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
I mean, it looks. Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be great, but it looks great. All right, let's talk about Sisu. This is written and directed by Jalmari Hedlander. I have a synopsis here. When an ex-soldier who discovers gold in the Lapland wilderness tries to take the loot into the city, Nazi soldiers led by a brutal SS officer battle him. And yeah, so that's like. This is the type of movie where that one sentence, that's all there is to the movie, mm-hmm. and that's all you need for the movie.
Perhaps. Maybe.
We'll start with you, Kevin. What were your initial impressions of Sisu?
I think this is you add this to the pantheon of films. The trailers are fucking incredible. And the trailers maybe hype it up just a bit too much. Just a touch too much, I think.
Well, I agree. I think that the thing with the trailer for this movie is that I feel like this is it gives a little bit too much away. Like the big moments, like the big jaw-dropping, like, holy shit, dude. Those moments are in the trailer. So it's like, so it's kind of tricky, but like, I get why they would want to include those things to like hype it up, but yeah, I understand where you're coming from with that.
Yeah, because the immediate thought that I had upon finishing this, which my wife said the exact same thing. She was like, "Oh, so like the trailer itself was just all the action truncated into a trailer. Like they cut out all of the non-action stuff, which was a lot of this, it turns out, and they just condense all the action into the trailer. So it was like I saw everything, and I already saw everything in the trailer, and now I just had to sit through all the non-action parts to see stuff that I already saw. It's just kind of a bizarre experience.
Well, maybe that was in the trailer. I can't remember. One thing that once like set piece that I liked was the whole minefield sequence. I don't remember if that was in the trailer.
I think part of it was.
Was the part when he threw the mine at the guy? Was that in the trailer?
I can't remember if that was.
Because that was like I thought one of the best moments in the movie, where the dude picks up a landmine and throws it at a guy, and he gets beamed with a landmine, and of course he explodes.
I just the some of it was fun, and I did enjoy, like, towards the end, it kind of goes into like ridiculous camp territory where it's just like, well, this dude can't die. Like, let's just be straight up, he can't die. Because after a while, shit just starts escalating, and you're just like, oh, okay, now we're in. I mean, we were already in Fantasyland, but now we're like full on. He might be Superman.
I looked at him like a slasher, he was like a Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees, where there's this like legend about him where he's supposedly immortal, and I do love it when they first radio in about him, the like high command or whatever, they're just like, just leave him, just get out of there. You're lucky to be alive right now. Just get out.
Quit while you're ahead, will you? get at.
Yeah. I liked this movie quite a bit. It seems like you weren't very high on it, but I had a
I was
lot of
a
fun
little
with it.
disappointed. Yeah, I can't fault anyone for having fun with it, and I think I would have like if honestly if I didn't watch the trailer, I think I probably would have enjoyed it more because the things would have been surprising. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah. A lot. Yeah. A lot of the surprises are unfortunately spoiled from the trailer. Uh, the other scene that I liked quite a bit was when he lights himself on fire. Like that was pretty badass too. So there, like, I feel like that there's a number of things that you see in this movie that you don't see in most, big bombastic action movies. If you simply want to see like a badass stoic dude who doesn't talk, dispatching a lot of Nazis in very gory ways, then this pretty much fits that bill, I think.
Oh yeah, yeah. If you're someone like me that enjoys people being exploded,
Oh yeah,
once
a lot of a lot
a
of
lot of people
people
explode.
a lot of people getting exploded
Oh,
in this
I
movie.
think it was the majority of them.
Many, yes, many of them ended up getting exploded.
I don't have the data, but I'm pretty sure it was more than 50% of the deaths were explosions.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of them got killed in that minefield, like right
Yeah,
off the bat,
that
and
was a
then
lot of.
and then of course like the thing at the end, but which yeah, uh, you don't want to. Yeah, you shouldn't go into this movie. If you happen to do see the trailer, it should give you a good idea of the tone here. Like we're not. This isn't a gritty, realistic, war
No.
drama. This is like straight up 70s style exploitation where you're just in it for the violence, really.
Yeah,
Because the story is
it's
not
not. It's
there
not.
is no story. It's literally just, it's about a guy who finds some gold and then has to go up against some Nazis. That's pretty much where we're at. Kind of feels like Mad Max. It's like a like Fury Road. There's definitely these like kind of Fury Road vibes that I was getting out of it,
Oh
where
yeah, it's just that mixed with John Wick,
yeah,
really.
yeah, it is. It's like a poor man's Fury Road crossed with John Wick, where the Nazis have these like women prisoners that they're transporting, and they play a small role uh, in the movie. But I mean, unfortunately, I don't think that it achieves the same highs as John Wick
No,
or Fury
because
Road for that matter. I mean, definitely not Fury Road.
no, and I think there's two things about this that outside of just the aforementioned trailer issue that I had with it is a some of like the hand to hand like action choreography just I didn't think was that impressive. It was better when it was doing the ridiculous over the top explosions and shit. And there's also this thing, and I think I've talked about this numerous times before, and this movie does it a lot, where I don't know if it's necessarily slow motion or it's when they drop like the frame rate or whatever,
Mm.
but that shit just looks so bad. It looks so fucking god awful.
Yeah, I believe that's when they drop because they're filming at like 24 frames a second. So then when you drop that frame rate lower, it looks almost like a slideshow. It's because there's so few frames.
It looks so bad. I can't stand it.
Where it's
I
like
know it's just a pet peeve as they speak English.
yeah, for the most part they do. I wasn't expecting that. I thought that was
I
kind of
wasn't either.
interesting.
I thought because that was one of the interesting things about this movie. I thought was like, holy shit, this is this Finnish movie with with Nazis is it's going to be playing in a movie theater around here. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then they were all speaking English, and I'm like, ah, yeah, I guess that was too much to ask for.
Yeah, yeah, that kind of surprised me too. Yeah, you get a little bit of finish in there here, little bits and pieces.
But I think you could have done it, like, because there's so few, there's so little dialogue in this that I think it would have worked for American audiences. because they're only here for the action, anyways.
Yeah, I mean, the main character has what, one line of dialogue. So that probably, and that was in Finnish. So at least they did that. Yeah. Overall, I think for me, it's a light recommend. I think that it's worth a rental. I had a lot of fun with it. I was really excited for this movie. So I guess maybe my expectations were a little bit too high.
Yeah,
for it.
That was my issue.
And again, yeah, it was really that awesome trailer that got me so pumped for it, because prior to the trailer, I wasn't aware of this movie.
Same.
I am familiar with the director. It's the guy who did Rare Exports and Big Game, both of which I liked quite a bit. This one, it's I'd say it's fine. Let's give it a score. I'm sitting at a 6.5 on this one.
Yeah, I'd go like a 5.5, 6.
Cool. Again, Sisu is playing on demand right now. If you're in the market for a extremely gory, light action movie, see, like I would call it light in that, like, compared to John Wick,
yeah,
the action is like nothing. Like it's mostly just violence. I wouldn't call it action. It's not like there are a lot of really well choreographed fight scenes. There's a lot of shooting and a lot of explosions.
And I think that was another aspect of the trailer that maybe threw me off a little bit, because the trailer made it seem like, oh, this is going to be ridiculous action. And then like the movie starts and I get through the whole first chapter and I'm just like, oh wait, this is going to be one of those like slow, methodical things. It's like, that's not what you were telling me this was going to be.
Yeah, and the other thing is, like, you had a couple cool set pieces here, like the minefield, as I mentioned, but then, like, I feel like there could have been a lot. They could have done some really cool shit, like with more stuff with like the environment, or like him, I don't know, hiding out, or just more interesting set pieces instead of, they caught up with him again, time to fight. Like, I don't know, I just was kind of hoping for more interesting locales, maybe, or something like that.
To me, it was a bit of a letdown, because that trailer promised so much.
Yeah. I mean, you do. And that's the thing, like the big moment, right, is when he stabs the dude through the head. Like that's one of the big moments of the movie, when you realize that this guy's a badass, and that's the main takeaway from the trailer. You see that in the trailer, which is like, they shouldn't have done that. They should have held back on that.
Yeah.
That's Sisu. Let's talk about some of what we've been watching. I think it's my turn this week.
Hit me.
I saw Polite Society. This is directed by Nita Manzoor.
I want to see this. Talk to me. How was it?
It was all right.
I don't know.
Kind of middle of the road for me. What you have here is a light comedy that is about a high schooler who she wants to become a stunt woman, and her older sister, who is like helping her train and stuff like that. She meets this guy and they get engaged, and the younger sister is very jealous, and she also thinks that there's like something weird going on with the guy. Like she thinks that the guy might be hiding some things, or at least his family. So she goes about trying to break them up and prevent the marriage from happening. So it plays out almost like a rom-com, but there's action in this, which is kind of interesting. There are like multiple fight scenes in this. So it's like this kind of weird genre mashup where it's like one part rom-com, one part coming of age story, and one part action movie.
Okay.
Interesting concept. Unfortunately for me, it just like a lot of it didn't really land. Like the comedy didn't land for me. I didn't think any of it was particularly funny at all. The performances were good. The action scenes were okay, but there's not that many of them. So it just kind of falls into this territory where it does a lot of things, but it doesn't particularly excel at any one of those things. Mm-hmm. That being said, I still did find it entertaining enough. I mean, it's a very charming movie. But at the end of the day, I think I was just felt like it was a little bit lacking. So, yeah, that's Polite Society. That's on VOD.
Well, I have more movies than I did last time. But not by much. I have one this week.
Oh, wow. Yeah, maybe next week you'll have two.
Hey, baby steps. Watch out. I watched Horror in the High Desert 2, Minerva.
Ooh.
So I don't know if you remember me talking about Horror in the High Desert back whenever the fuck I talked about that. I didn't like the first one at all. I thought it was awful. It's just an absolute mess. It's one of those, like mockumentary talking head style with like found footage weaved in. It's just about a guy that kind of he disappeared while he was hiking. And it was just all this build up. Boring as shit. Just build up, until the final end reveal where, he finds something out in the desert that was kind of creepy. Now, the ending of that movie was decent. It was just the fact that it took you fucking forever, like 75 minutes to get to it, where nothing else was happening. And that nothing else that was not happening was also just a complete mess, just shambles, right? So I watched number 2. Because my wife wanted to see it because she liked the first one. So I said, let's do it. And they do a much better job this time around. And 2, this is kind of unsettling. It's creepy. The found footage stuff, like the surveillance type stuff that they're doing here, it's still the like talking head style shit, and all of that just really doesn't work for me. But like the footage that they have in this one, A, there's a lot more going on. And B, it's the type of thing that I find deeply unsettling and quote unquote scary, where there's just like, you just kind of vaguely see someone like in the background, it's like night vision stuff, and there's someone walks through the frame, that kind of thing. And then they just kind of like don't bring attention to it. Like there's not really jump scares or anything like that. It's just that deeply unsettling type of approach, which I enjoy. They still didn't explain a fucking thing in this movie. So that, there's 2 movies in, and it's just like, oh, they're just completely ignoring what it's supposed to be about. Because, like, they'll share the footage, and the guy afterwards just like, yeah, still never found that person. And it's like, are you not talking about the creature that was standing next to you? Like, you saw the footage. It's your footage. And it's just no response to that at all. It's just kind of bizarre.
I'll have to check this out.
Especially if you're doing like a mockumentary. Like, I'm sorry, like you're just a bad documentarian if you're not going to be like, yeah, so what do you think the that figure was that you captured that was right in front of you that you couldn't see? But no one asked those questions. It's a bunch of people not asking the right questions.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna add this to my list. Looks like it's on Tubi. Is that where you watch it?
No, it's a Tubi. It's a Tubi movie, buddy.
Interesting. Apparently,
it's right at home.
Rated home on Tubi. Nice. I saw Targets from 1968.
They're people.
They are people. Targets are people, and you could be one of them. So we talked about this last week because this came out on Criterion. This is directed by Peter Bogdanovich. I believe this was his debut, feature debut from him. He's in it as a young man, very young man in this movie. So what you have here is this guy who just kind of loses it. He just seems like a regular dude. He's like he lives with his parents. He has a lot of friends. He has a girlfriend. Just a normal guy, normal white bread guy. And he just kind of loses it and starts killing people, just goes on a killing spree. This is a type of movie that it could easily take place in 2023. I mean, holy crap. With, in 1968, you didn't have that many like mass shootings, or certainly the weekly ones that we have by today's standards. So this movie is, in some ways, it is like kind of a horrifying sign of things to come, and also at the same time it's like it feels almost tired, because the thing that makes this movie like shocking or notable is that it's just about a guy going on a killing spree. Like, that's all this movie is. It's just a guy going on a killing spree, and Boris Karloff, of all people, is the one who ends up being in a position to take him down. That being said, it's a really good movie, and I highly recommend checking it out. It's just I think it hits different in 2023 after all of the mass shootings that we've been, that we've had to bear witness to. But
yeah, that's what I was wondering, is like, how does the viewing experience work in 2023? You know what I mean? Like, I would feel like there's that uncomfortableness to it.
Yeah, like,
where it's like,
especially because a lot of the movie spends time with the killer, like setting up his little area that he's going to shoot people, because he's like a sniper, so he snipes people. And like the first big one that he does, now he kills a few people, like he kills his parents, and then the first like big shooting that he does is he climbs up on this, like, I don't know, it's like a water tank or something like that, but it overlooks a highway. So he just climbs up there, and he's got his lunch and his bottle of pop, and he's got like 10 guns, and he just lays up there eating his sandwich, drinking his Coke, and shooting people in their cars as they drive on the highway. And yeah, it's, 1968, so it's not like you're going to get lots of like graphic blood and guts or anything like that, but it is still disturbing. But also, like, this guy is a freaking idiot. Like, he leaves evidence everywhere. Like, he's constantly dropping guns and just leaving them. He's such a moron that it's no wonder that Boris Karloff was able to just stop him from killing more people. The second, so Boris Karloff plays an actor. He kind of plays himself, really, and he is doing a guest appearance at a drive-in theater, and that's where his like second big shooting spree takes place, is at a drive-in movie theater. He perches up and starts sniping people that are sitting in their cars watching the movie. So I do recommend it. Just know that even though it's not like super violent or anything, it definitely disturbed me more than Sisu. I'll tell you that. But
I can see that. Yeah, because I'm sure when he made this back in 1968, he didn't foresee.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's still very well made, and I definitely recommend checking it out. It's quite good. Targets.
They're people.
They are people. Yeah. That's it. That's all I'll mention. I was gonna mention I saw this movie called Glitch by Nico Mastroikis. Glitch, yeah, from 1988. But I don't really have anything to say about it. It's like your kind of standard 80s '80s like sex comedy, but uh, it's
That's you gotta hate when that happens. Get yourself entangled in someone owing somebody money, some bad dudes.
yeah, it's really stupid. It's about these two burglars who are staking out this like rich guy's mansion, and he's a famous producer, and he goes on vacation, and they break into his house, and instead of just like stealing whatever they want and leaving, they end up pretending. One of the guys ends up pretending to be the producer, and they end up like hosting this like fake audition for his next movie. So they get all these like women over to the mansion and have this like crazy party, but then the mob gets involved, and it's stupid. It's really stupid.
The best part is as soon as I pulled this up on Letterboxd and I saw the poster, I was like, it resides on Tubi.
Oh yeah, this is definitely a Tubi movie.
It's Tubi all the way.
Yeah, this is 100% a Tubi movie. Glitch. You can check it out. I don't. The glitch title is also really dumb. Like
the poster has two glitches. You have the typeface glitch, and then you also have the fun, wacky, zany glitch on the woman's thigh there. Double glitch.
You know, when you say glitch, you think of like some kind of, computer, like a computer glitch, like a software glitch.
Yeah.
There's no there's no computers or anything in this. The glitch is, I mean, it's not even a glitch. It's just stupid.
Yeah, and which is funny because they're like, there's only one small problem, a little glitch in their plan. I wouldn't call this a glitch.
No, their plan is dumb and stupid to begin with. And also, coincidentally, there's another set of burglars that break in at the same time as them, so they have to contend with them too. It's it's really bad and stupid. But if you're looking for some '80s cheese, man, this definitely has a pretty solid amount of '80s cheese. Glitch.
Incredible. Glitch.
I don't know why I don't know how I found this movie or why I wanted to watch it, but
it's the power of Tubi.
That must be what it is. Like I see these like random '80s comedies, and I'm just like, I never heard of that movie. Let's give it a watch.
Tubi is great for and I think that's people watching films and stuff. It's just like Tubi is just, it'll make you make some bad decisions. Not always, but because a lot of times you'll find like this looks dumb as hell, and you watch it and you're like, damn, that was pretty good. So now you start thinking, you're playing with house money, right? And you're just like, well, Tubi's just a treasure trove. Like, all of these movies are probably great.
I don't know that I ever thought of it that way, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
Because pretty much everything I've watched on Tubi has been, if not good, it has at least been entertaining. Where like I didn't regret the time that I spent watching that movie.
I would say that everything that I've watched on Tubi was objectively not good, but
entertaining.
Subjectively very fun and entertaining. Yeah, I mean, I'm realizing that the
That's what Tubi delivers.
I'm realizing that the Tubi lineup is kind of within my wheelhouse. Like, I'm kind of into the straight to DVD VHS movies of the 80s and 90s, and that's that's kind of what you get with Tubi.
See, that's exactly what you're getting with Tubi.
Like, when we do Saved by the 90s, a lot of the times we're looking for movies that maybe were a little bit flew under the radar, and Tubi's a great source for that.
Oh yeah, I bet yeah, I no doubt it's got to be a great resource because it literally is like before Tubi came along, it was just like, nah, you can't watch that movie, you can't find it.
Yeah.
And I want to know more about, that's the one documentary that I would actually watch. You know how we have too many documentaries now of like every fucking business in the entire world and every product that's ever been made.
Yep.
I need a Tubi deep dive. Just like how they get a hold of all these things. How they do it? What's their secret?
I don't know, but
Who's the brain behind Tubi?
yeah, it's kind of wild how much stuff they have on Tubi. That's completely free too, by the way, which is wild.
I mean, I used to make fun of my mom. Yeah.
Well, both of us.
Look at me. I know. Look at me now.
Both of us used to make fun of Tubi so much because it seemed like it seemed like it was just crap. Like it seemed like it was almost like a public domain garbage that was on there. But then you realize, like, oh, wait a minute, they actually have some interesting stuff on here, like older stuff. If you're looking for 80s and 90s stuff, like Tubi's the spot. All right, let's take a look at what we have in theaters this week. The big one is The Little Mermaid.
Oh.
Another unnecessary Disney live action remake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not into this. I only saw, I think, the first like teaser trailer, and I thought that the movie looked absolutely awful. So
it looked real bad.
Yeah, so that I think that was the end of me looking into The Little Mermaid. Honestly, I was never a big fan of the animated movie either. Like, I think it's fine, but as a kid, this was a little bit lower on my tier list of Disney movies. That's really the only big one in theaters. Yeah. About My Father is also going to be in theaters. I don't know if that's getting a wide release or not. Same with Kandahar, which is a Gerard Butler action movie.
Oh, yeah.
Add that to the pile. Okay, let's see. On VOD this week. Whoops, I closed the tab. Now I have to reload it. Let's see. Starting with the 23rd. Page is not loading. Come on now. We have Walking Against the Rain.
Yeah,
it looks like a horror movie. We got Dark Nature, which I saw at a film festival maybe last year, and I totally forgot about this movie until I was adding it to the calendar. And I honestly, I don't even remember if I liked it or not. I don't think I did.
You gave it 1.5 stars.
Yeah, I don't think I did like it. And then on the 26th, we have Days of Daisy. We got Mob King. Let's see. We have Where the Tracks End. That's going to be on Netflix. And then we have Blood and Gold on Netflix. That one is it's about effing up some Nazis.
Blood and Gold?
Blood and Gold. It's about I think it's about
for some treasure.
Yeah, killing Nazis and getting treasure. I'm down. On Blu-ray this week, let's see. We have Brotherhood of the Wolf coming out in 4K. Remember that one? Brotherhood of the Wolf, the French.
Oh yeah, sure do.
I really liked that movie. I'd like to rewatch that. Got Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Creed 3. Running Man is coming out in 4K. Let's see. Crank is coming out in 4K from 2006.
Boy, Crank in 4K.
Crank in 4K, man. I kind of forgot about the Crank movies. I bet they don't hold up. Something tells me.
I have a feeling.
Something tells me those movies do not hold up, especially Crank 2. I bet that one really doesn't hold up. VHS 99 is coming out. That's on Shudder if you want to check it out now. Fist of the Condor. We got Warm Water Under a Red Bridge. That's about it. What about Criterion's this week?
We got one, and that's Petite Maman from 2021. the French movie with the contemporary pick one there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nice.
Pick it up.
Cool. All right, I think that's going to do it for this week. Thank you so much for listening. You can send us your questions and topics to podcast@filmpulse.net. You can follow us on Twitter @FilmPulseNet and @FilmPulseKevin. And if you have a minute, consider reviewing us on iTunes. That'd be great. For Kevin Rakestraw, my name's Adam Patterson. We'll see you next week.